The restaurant was silent. Too silent. Everyone's eyes were on the table in the corner, where the richest man in the city, billionaire Ethan Cole, sat with a golden pen in his hand, about to sign a contract worth millions. Reporters were ready, cameras flashing. But just before the ink touched the paper, a trembling voice from behind whispered, "Sir, please, don't sign that." It was a waitress. Young, nervous, eyes filled with fear. The room froze. And what the billionaire did next left everyone speechless. Ethan Cole wasn't born rich. He had clawed his way up from nothing. From sleeping in his car to owning one of the biggest tech companies in the country. But success came with a cost. Money had made him cold, distant, and deeply mistrustful. To him, kindness was often a mask for manipulation. That day, he was at the Silver Leaf Diner, a small, cozy place tucked away in the old part of the city. A place he once used to eat when he was broke. But now, he was there for business. Not nostalgia. He was meeting Richard Hale, a powerful investor known for making and breaking companies overnight. On the table lay a folder. A deal that would merge Ethan's company with Hale's firm. It was worth $300 million. And everyone in his team said it was perfect. Everyone except one trembling waitress. Her name was Leela. A 24-year-old single mother trying to pay for her 6 sons' hospital bills. She worked 2 jobs, barely slept, and never complained. She had seen thousands of customers. But she had never seen anyone look so alone as the billionaire sitting at that table. When she brought his coffee, she overheard snippets of conversation. Hale's voice, smooth and confident, saying words like, "Trust me. No risk. Guaranteed profit." But something in his tone didn't feel right. She noticed his assistant hiding documents, pages that were swapped just before Ethan arrived. Her heart raced. She knew what she saw, and she knew if Ethan signed that paper, he would lose everything. But who was she to interfere? Just a waitress. A nobody. She tried to walk away, but her conscience wouldn't let her. When she saw Ethan reach for his pen, she stepped forward. Her hands shaking, voice barely a whisper. "Sir, please, don't sign that." The entire restaurant went silent. Ethan's pen froze mid-air. Hale frowned. His lawyers glared. Cameras turned. Ethan looked up, surprised, and a little angry. "Excuse me." Leela swallowed hard. "That paper, they changed something. I saw it when they switched folders." The room exploded with murmurs. Hale immediately stood, pretending to laugh. "She's just a waitress, Ethan. Ignore her. Probably looking for attention." But Ethan didn't laugh. He looked straight into Leela's eyes, and saw something he hadn't seen in a long time. Sincerity. Fear. Truth. He put down the pen slowly. "Bring me both copies of the contract," he said, his voice calm but firm. The lawyers hesitated. Hale tried to interrupt, but Ethan raised a hand. "Now." They brought both copies. The one sent earlier and the one on the table. Ethan flipped through the pages, line by line, and there it was. A clause changed in fine print. A single sentence that handed over controlling shares of his company to Hale's firm. He looked up. "You almost had me." Hale's face turned pale. Cameras flashed. Reporters whispered. Ethan stood, closed the folder, and turned to Leela. "Thank you," he said quietly. For a moment she couldn't speak. Tears filled her eyes. She had just stopped a billionaire from being robbed blind. That day, Hale's empire began to crumble. Ethan canceled the deal publicly. Right there, in front of everyone. But what happened after changed both his and Leela's lives forever. The next morning, news of the event spread everywhere. Billionaire saved by waitress's warning. Social media was flooded. People called Leela a hero, but she didn't feel like one. She was still the same tired woman, with overdue rent. And a child in the hospital. Then, a black car stopped outside her small apartment. Ethan stepped out. She panicked, thinking she was in trouble. But when she opened the door, Ethan smiled gently. "You saved me," he said. "Now it's my turn." He handed her a check. But she shook her head. "I don't want money, sir. I just did what was right." Ethan admired that. Most people would have taken the reward without hesitation. But Leela's refusal only reminded him of something he had lost. His humanity. He asked about her life. About her son. About how she managed to notice the fraud. She told him everything. Her night shifts, her boy Noah, who needed surgery for a heart condition, and how she often read old business magazines during breaks to learn more about contracts and investments. That surprised Ethan. "You read business law?" She smiled faintly. "Just the basics. I thought maybe one day I could work in an office, instead of serving coffee." He paused for a moment, then said something that changed her life tour. "Then you start Monday. At my company." She stared at him, stunned. "Sir? I don't even have a degree." Ethan smiled. "You have something better, integrity. And I can teach you the rest." From that day forward, Leela's world transformed. Ethan enrolled her in company training, paid for her son's surgery, and made sure she never had to choose between bills and dreams again. Months passed. Leela became one of the most trusted members of his executive team. Humble, honest, and wise beyond her years. People loved her energy. Even Ethan, once cold and detached, began to change. He stopped seeing people as tools and started seeing them as stories. Each fighting their own silent battles. One evening, as the sun set behind the city skyline, Ethan and Leela stood by the window of his office. He looked at her and said softly, "Traw. You know, the day you told me not to sign that paper, you didn't just save my company. You saved me." She smiled. "Sometimes, we just need someone brave enough to whisper the truth." Ethan nodded. "And sometimes, we need to listen. Sometimes, heroes don't wear suits or capes. Sometimes, they wear aprons and carry coffee trays." Leela reminded everyone that doing the right thing, even when you're scared, can change lives. Even the lives of people who seem untouchable. And Ethan proved that no matter how powerful you become, kindness is still the greatest strength. "Cho," the waitress whispered, and the billionaire listened.